Jet, are you going to be my girl on XFM 104.9? I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant. Over there, little roundy bald head of Karl Pilkington. Good news and bad news. Good news is, boys are back in town, we're here for 2 hours.
Hello.
Bad news is, we have no monkey news, gay fella news, or little Chinese fella news.
Really?
We're going to try and, you know, leave that for a week, and then maybe come back to it.
Yeah. Why do I get the feeling that within 20 minutes we'll be talking about little, little gay Chinese monkeys?
Karl, think of that.
We have got monkey news.
Have we?
Oh, yeah.
So we've already broken that promise.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to try and sort of talk about something else. I've just done Jonathan Ross show, and they don't talk about the same things every week. It's weird. It is weird. But, or as Karl says, weird innit?
Yeah.
So, gave this show about 5 plugs.
Nice one.
Yeah. So, I think we'll get upward of 800 people listening.
Oh, double.
For the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then turning back.
They're already switching over.
I'd have thought so, yeah.
I spoke to my friend yesterday. He's a little bit of an old fella, and he said that for his own amusement, he had an iPod in his car, and he bought a little sort of transmitter, and he could transmit the music from his iPod to sort of just beam it, kind of as he was driving along, to sort of passing cars.
What do you mean?
It's
Make
weird.
their radio play it?
Well, but if they had it in the right frequency, yeah. I mean, pointless, completely pointless, but not dissimilar to this show, I imagine, in terms of the number of listeners.
Yeah, but I was going to say, what's the chances of people having this frequency
Absolutely
on?
pointless.
So it's probably about the same, yeah.
Do you know what it reminds me of? When I was young, I wanted to get into radio. I was excited in radio. When I was sort of in my, I don't know, I was 11 or 12. My friend and I, we got a little mixing deck, and we used to host our own radio show.
Brilliant.
From his bedroom. We didn't have a transmitter, so we'd put some speakers in his front garden, in some bushes, and sort of broadcast it to people who were walking
Again,
by.
probably over the week more listeners than this show.
Almost certainly.
Yeah,
I love the idea. It never happened, but I always was hoping that maybe some girls would just come by and just like sit and listen. These guys are great. I don't know where these sounds are coming from. It seems to be that bush, but.
Or Noel Edmonds coming along going, who are these guys?
Yeah.
Can you get them on my breakfast show?
Can they stand in for me when I go on holiday?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did I did sort of pirate radio.
No, go on.
Got into hospital.
Yeah, the normal radio, but you had an eye patch on. Go on.
Dad was in hospital, right? And, he was having some operation done, right? And, went to see him. And didn't have that much to say to him, right? So I was sat there. Well, it's awkward though, isn't it, when someone's ill?
Yeah.
Sure. And you don't know.
Boring, isn't it? Boring.
So I was flicking around on that little radio thing they have.
Yeah.
And I heard, like, he had a radio station in the hospital, so I said, I'm gonna go and join this. So I wandered off to go and find it.
Yeah.
Sort of joined that. Did a little show on there. Thought I can sort of get out to the masses here. My mate made a little transmitter. Did a little pirate radio show from the, got kicked out because they found out, and apparently I put the station at risk because all the stuff could have been taken off us.
But from Little Acorn, 16 years later, he's on a show with less listeners.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Can you imagine if you've gone into hospital, you're already pretty depressed, there's the fear of these super bugs in the hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got some quite serious illness, you know,
Yeah.
you don't know if you're going to make it. His voice is what you hear to cheer you up.
Alright, weird, isn't it? I saw a programme about a parasite the other night. Yeah. Apparently, they get in through your eye and eat their way out through your genitals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
here's
think you've got it
Radiohead.
bad?
Yeah, exactly. Play a record, Karl.
Bit of Stone Roses in.
Oh, Fool's Gold. Classic. Stone Roses, Fool's Gold. XFM, 104.9. Brilliant.
Can't help but notice you've brought some sandwiches in, Rick. What's in there?
Cheese and onion.
Cheese and onion?
Yeah.
Because I've never ever seen you make sandwiches before. I've seen you take a piece of bread out of a loaf and sort of fold it in half. Crumbs everywhere.
Well, Jane made that for me because I was in a bit of a hurry.
I didn't think for a minute that you
Why?
made
Because it looks
yourself.
neat.
Well, they're wrapped in the tin foil. A knife has been used.
As opposed to chewing round
Yeah,
the baguette.
exactly,
Yeah, breaking it in half.
Yeah.
A la Albert Steptoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Nice.
It's great, but the onions are strong.
Are they?
Making my eyes water.
Yeah.
If I come and breathe on you,
Yeah.
it'll cure any sort of skin disease you might have. Skin disease. We watched that, Karl, you know, that Karl was raving about that thing about parasites, about worms coming out your brain and that. And I watched
What is this? Is a TV show?
Yeah, called Body Snatchers.
Right.
And it was pretty fascinating. And, I mean, amazingly shot as well. I mean, it's got to win an award for photography.
Yeah.
And there was, one bit that, this little girl had been bitten by a mosquito and it laid her eggs, and it went to the doctor. She had a lump on her neck, like a boil. And, they pulled it out, and it was like a bullet, this maggot.
Oh.
And they put it down, and it was wriggling in her blood, right? But the hole left was sort of aesthetically pleasing. You know, like that feeling you get, like, I once had an ingrowing hair, and I quite liked it when I pulled it out. And it's a perfect little hole. And I thought, I wouldn't mind having those as long as they sort of, like, healed over.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, it's weird, isn't it?
But why would you want a hole in your body?
No, it's like pulling something out, sort of like pulling something out of your body. It's
I
sort
don't
of
know what you're
cleansing,
talking
isn't it? No, but it's sort of like, I don't know what to
This is it. You watch one programme recommended to you by Carl. You've turned into Carl. You want a hole in your body?
No, it was like, you know, like squeezing a really good sort of like spot. I mean, I haven't squeezed spots for ages. In fact, I'd never had spots, but maybe that's it. I didn't have spots.
Right.
And I always thought that would be nice, squeezing a spot.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why
I
would
don't
these
know.
things
I
be
don't know what
pleasurable?
to-
Why would an ingrowing hair? That's
Yeah, it
great
was good.
fun.
That was good, because I got it, it was like a little lump, and I pulled it, and then it pulled out, and it was like, left a little
I know
hole.
what you mean.
Do
Because
you know- yeah.
I get thick hairs
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Like, really...
Oh, when they come out, it's like a bit of wax.
Yeah.
Like putting out a little candle.
And
I
that's-
love that.
What?
Yeah.
Because I've got not much hair on my head,
No.
right? It sort of grows thicker on my face.
No, not true.
Sure, but go on.
Yeah.
No, it does.
Not true, baby. Go on. No evidence for that. Just made it up.
So it
Yeah.
grows sort of thicker on my
No.
neck and that, and now and again I'll see like something that's like a twig, right? It's
Yeah.
really thick.
Yeah, you feel it, and then you think, oh, I'm gonna have that, and then you work at it, and then when you get hold of it, it's brilliant. It's like pulling out. It's fantastic. It's waxy and build up, and it pulls it out, and it stretches your skin, and it leaves a hole.
I've just realised why we talk about Chinese people, monkeys, and gays every week.
Why?
Because this is the sort of replacement. This is what we've got if we're not talking about them.
But it was great as well. And there's this parasite, right, that lives in a fish, right? And what it does, it changes the fish's behaviour. Because to breed, it has to get its body temperature up, so it has to get into a bird. Right?
What needs to get into the bird? The fish?
Parasite to
The
complete
parasite
its
needs to
life
get into a
cycle,
bird,
yeah.
right.
So it changes the behaviour of the stickleback, and it makes the stickleback sort of suicidal. So the stickleback doesn't flee when it sees a heron; it gets caught.
Right.
Because this stickleback has changed its behaviour. Carl didn't quite understand this,
I
did
still
you?
don't really get it. I watched it and you see like the fat fish and that, and you go, oh, it's not well. But I don't understand.
Well, all it does is it has to get into a bird because it has to breed, to lay its eggs. It has to have a raise of body temperature. So a fish is cold-blooded, so it has to get into a bird which is warm-blooded. There's lots of things, certain things at
Yeah,
that
but
level.
why is it doing that?
Because it needs the temperature. It needs the heat energy for its reaction. Just like, for example, that's why your balls are on the outside. Because the cells have to be a certain temperature to survive. I don't know if it's the sperm or Sertoli cells, but they have to be a couple of degrees below body temperature. Otherwise, they'd be in a nice cage and we wouldn't get kicked in the nads.
What do you mean?
That's why your testicles are on the outside of your body. They have to be a couple of degrees below body temperature.
Yeah, but it's not. That isn't why they're there. You see, this is like the chat we had last week about the giraffe having a long neck.
What do you mean?
They're there because that's where they happen to be. They didn't go right.
Well, that's what evolution is. It's a selection process. It's not a will. The balls didn't say, look, I'm too hot, let's get us outside, let's get outside of here!
All right, hang on a minute then.
What?
So a little man monkey, right? Theirs are in the same place as ours.
Yeah.
But they're walking around naked, so it could be anywhere. They could be like on the back. It doesn't matter where they are.
They call it, well, they could be on the back, yeah.
So why aren't they?
This is a completely different... Steve!
You started it! I wash my hands of the whole affair.
And we're not only back to balls, but we're back to monkey balls.
Yes.
In one thing from about parasites, we're back to monkey ball news.
Yeah.
How do we get back to chimp testicle news?
All right then. So this worms in a fish.
Yeah. It's like a little platyhelminth. I think it's some sort of...
But what I mean is, why are they about?
What do you mean? They
Why?
evolved.
But why haven't they died out?
Because they're very successful.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? What do you mean, yeah? Tell me the brain event that made you say yeah in that 1 second gap.
Because in a way I don't get it, and if I think about it too much, it hurts a bit.
They've just been around for years, Carl.
Yeah.
Like Cliff Richard or something like that. You know, they're just...
Forget About Tomorrow by Feeder. on XFM 104.9. Carl is in some pain now, isn't he?
What angers me is the fact that the listeners, at least they get a record. They get 3 minutes where they can just relax. They don't have to listen to this drivel. I've got to sit here for another 3 minutes while you try and explain to this idiot why they have a parasites and why we have fish and why, you know. It's just interminable.
Oh, Carl's question is, what's the point of a parasite? I was saying, well, they evolved alongside everything else, and it's part of the ecosystem. He's going, but why is a parasite in a fish, in a heron, back in a fish? And I said, what's the point in anything, right, apart from the balance of the ecosystem that survives at any time? And then Steve went, Carl, you should have done this when you were in sixth form.
Yeah.
Questioning the point of life.
Yeah,
and
you should have had
existence.
these existential questions, you know, when you were younger.
Did you ever used to lay awake at night thinking, where did the universe end?
No.
I did that when I was about 6 or 7 for about a year. When someone said it was...
He was lying awake at night thinking, where does Manchester end? I assume it goes on forever.